Hey guys, what is up? So we're going to be talking about finance today, and it's an interesting topic that I haven't seen covered as in depth as I would have personally liked it. But that's what we're going to kind of do here today. So you hear quite often the word selling club, okay? So right now I just want you to think off the top of your head a selling club, okay? To me, Dortmund comes to mind, okay? Over the years, they've brought in a lot of young talent, sold some of the better players and things like that. But they're like a conveyor belt of talent. Similar story probably. Someone like to say Southampton. As a Liverpool fan, I know that one quite well. But what if you want to become a selling club? Because for the most part, Football Manager, I love being a selling club. I really do. Obviously, not quite so much here, but that's because I enjoy my Liverpool save as well. And to get going into the Football Manager, always like my beta save because this is my beta save. It's now the beta stage, but I like to just kind of play the game, and then I can get into all the nitty gritty later on. So my next save will probably be Liverpool, but as a selling club, which then I added a bunch of rules, and that's what I kind of want to talk to you about today. How to really become a real selling club. So one of the first things you want to do is youth players. If I go to my transfers here, this is a brilliant little example because I've got loads on the in. Okay, so right here we have absolute loads. Let's go to this guy here, yeah? So what I've done, I offered him a trial. He's available. All I had to do is pay a bit of compensation, and he looks brilliant. So when he does join, it is a little while away. I think another year or so, but that's fine. When he does eventually join, hopefully I should make a good bit of money on him. But there are some things I need to do before that. But I'll get into that in a bit. So firstly, you want the transfer amount to be correct. So like here, you'll see there's a 4.5 mil there, and that's probably one of the more expensive ones. If I go to transfer history, let me just show you someone that wouldn't make financial sense. This lad here, yes, I can sell him for more, okay, because we all know he's a brilliant wonder kid. But when you account for what his wages will be, the amount he cost, plus things like loyalty and all that, because I believe, 5.5, you wouldn't really be making good profit on him. If I was to sell him a bit down the line, but then why would you want to when you've got a player like this? Similar story to, say, Dortmund with Marco Reus. I know injuries played him for the most part, but why would you want to sell them? You need to keep some stars in your club to maintain. So you kind of, pick the players you want to kind of keep about, and then, the players that are more replaceable, in my opinion, because I'm training up to be an anchor man. You can train him up however you want, but not many people would agree with this. But honestly, he does a good job. I know he could be suited elsewhere, but there's not many good anchormen, and if you can build on that strength and teamwork, which I don't know why he's gone back to half intensity. I'm guessing that's just because we ended the season. I'll put strength from there. If he can build on that, he can be a top player in that anchorman role, and then also he can kind of come out, play anywhere in the midfield for it, and that is what I want. He's a brilliant player to keep around. But anyhow, you'll see another guy here, 16.5 mil. He's already worth 42, so I could have a lot of money there. But, and this is the big but, look at his wage, okay? Now, this is one thing you really have to look at. I'm planning on keeping this guy around. I'm not really looking at selling him anytime soon. But if I were, okay, so I've dished out the initial 16.5, okay? So you might want to get a calculator out for this. What you then want to do, go on your calculator, and this is a good thing to do for most players. You see his per week wage there, 95k. Okay, I want you to times that by 52. I believe it's 52 weeks in a year. I always get mixed up if it's 52 or 53. But we'll say 52, okay? So you want to times that by 52. And on your calculator should then come 4.940. Okay, so that means per year he's cost me nearly 5 million. So let's say Let's say I left it a few years. Let's say I leave it for a good 6 years, okay, before selling him. That would then be 30 million on top of those, and on top of that 16.5. Okay, so that's, well, more than what he's valued at. So unless I get that, that's already there a loss. Not to mention you've got the things like the loyalty, the appearance bonus, and all those other things. Okay, so it's not the best way of making money right there. Because by the time he does really develop and I'm going to get that sort of money, it's going to be around that time. I could sell him a bit earlier, like 3 years down the line, but then is it really worth all that hassle for a few million? The players you're going to make the big money on is the players I showed you originally, like these guys, okay? 2.5. I mean, this guy, he's probably not going to be the best in the world. I mean, his potential does show. I always recommend you trial them before you sign it if you can. You can't always do it because sometimes they're wanted by a lot of clubs, but if you can, definitely go for it. But this guy, he's cost me. How much did he cost me? 2.5. Okay. Now his wage is next to nothing what I'm paying for him. I'm trying to think how much I'm paying him. It's not much. It's so like. Would be on here? Yeah, look at that. So 55 quid. I mean, some of them will be like 10 grand, something like that, which is absolutely fine still. Because even then, 10 grand, that's only like about 500,000 a season. And you'll make good money on them, which is why when you look at Dortmund sales, for example, Moussa Dembele, Sancho nearly went through, and some other sales along those lines. They're always younger players, and the reason for that is their wages are considerably low. So it makes, when they hit their peak around that 21, 22, 23 stage, they're still on relatively low wages, and you can still make a good bit of money on them. Let's see, as Liverpool actually got someone that, Salah might be a good example here. I believe he came from, Basel. I'm gonna have to kind of work this out quick here. 8 years ago, he would have been 22. So he was sold at 22 for 11 million. I know it's not a great amount, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. He wasn't on the biggest wage, I don't believe. And he kind of went on from there. Mane might be another good one if we have a look at him quick. Let's say the move to Southampton. Okay, that was 7 years ago in my save. So 23 years old, moved to Southampton for nearly 12 million. Obviously, you want to try and look and get a bit more than that. Even the transfer to Liverpool wasn't much older. But that's what you kind of want to look at. You want to get him on youth contracts. You can pay him a bit more, obviously, on a normal contract. Because it's still not a lot of money. Have I got someone that's actually on? I think Nico Williams. If he doesn't end up making it for me, he's still got 3 years on his contract. He's only on 8K. Liverpool, he came through the academy. But that 8K is next to nothing, and I'll get some 15.5, so that is all good there. It's when you get them on the high wage that you have to really ask yourself. Like, for example, I know 80K is not massive wage, not really. You have to then ask yourself what you want to go from there. Do you want to keep them in your first team, or do you want to sell them on? Because the longer they're on that big wage, the more profit you're losing out on, which is very, very important. But I think I've covered all the transfer bits. Obviously, then you've got the things like your sponsors, where you finish and all that. But the main part of being a selling club is staying competitive and making maximum profit on your players. So I hope that has helped, and I'll see you next one.